It is a beacon of British motorsport history and the birthplace of modern GT3 racing. We return to it some decade later in the virtual world with the most modern GT3s you can get. It's Brands Hatch Brands Hatch Grand Prix Circuit for round 5 here in the International Sim Racing Series 2026 summer season. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It's Wednesday, and you know what that means. It's race day for the International Sim Racing Series. Thank you all for joining us, whether that's live, whether you get the video after the race has concluded. We are glad to have you here to witness some really great virtual GT3 drivers duke it out at such a historic track. We are currently sitting in practice, 4 minutes to go. C. Andreo currently leads the way with the fastest time at a 1:24.451. Pardon that, 1:24.428. is our current benchmark time in practice before we get to our 20-minute qualifying session. Little info for you about the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit, running to 2.43 miles, 3.9 kilometers, made up by a series of 11 turns. And our drivers will have to negotiate about 180-ish kilometers of that today. Let's take a look at our current standings after the round 4, last time out at Monza. We have our current driver on screen, Andreo, currently leading the way into first place with 79 points, followed closely by... Andreo is currently sitting in second place with 60 points. We have Rocket Bunny, as listed. I will read off the names as they are on SimGrid. Rocket Bunny currently leading the way with 79 points. Moltmax or Andreo, as you see on screen, currently with 60. Our admin, Dokuno, is sitting in third place at 54 points. We have the Italian Deltone sitting at 50. We have Aladdin, who is Aladdin Pratama, at 33 points. Intensivo, or Intense Gamer, 31 points. He may or may not miss qualifying due to a power outage in his area. Then we have Rasta, currently sitting at 29 points in 7th place. Shadowburst at 28. We have Quem, who apparently has been disqualified from the championship, and has missed the last of the two at 27 points. Finishing out the top 10 is Azteca at 26 points. And we also have Fabio at 25 points. He's only participated at the last round at Monza. He ended up winning it. That is our current reigning champion, 3 times back-to-back-to-back. Then have Super Abe at 20 points, and then the American Snake Plissken, at 17 points. Second of the 2 Nexus drivers. We get the 1-minute warning from our admin Dokuno. Before that, let's take a quick look at our team standings. We have Nexus swiping the lead last time out after Competition Racing didn't have any participation, nor did any of the other teams. Nexus Racing currently in the lead with 67 points, Competition Racing with 54, BWT with 53, Warped Heads at 31 points. We have Apex Racing powered by Nexus, that is the Nexus sister team, who is occupied by Fabio, taking the win last time out at 25 points, and then our final team is Sabre Motorsports at 5. Only 7 cars look to be taking up part in qualifying today. Not the kind of turnout we want to be seeing. And you can see that we will actually be delaying this session, as we, I believe, are missing someone. Missing 2 people that I know of at least. Session will actually start in about 4 minutes time. A little bit of confusion going on in the chat. People trying to figure out what and where people are, or who and where people are, I suppose. Alright, since the session is delayed just a tad bit, might as well go over the rules for any newcomers or people who need a refresher from last week. International Sim Racing Series runs on Gran Turismo 7. Servers open at 7:45 p.m. Central European Time. Drivers have 15 minutes to join, which also counts as a 15-minute practice session before a 20-minute qualifying session. Fastest lap time sets the grid for the 180-kilometer-ish race. During the race, drivers are obligated to take both the soft and the medium tires on the car at least once each per compound. The average race in International Sim Racing Series typically runs to about a 2-stop. So you'll see maybe soft, medium, medium, softs. Any sort of variations of strategy. It also means that most of the time at least one pit stop driver will be required to take fuel. If any inclement weather is to arrive and drivers are it is deemed necessary that the drivers need to take intermediate or wet tires, just like in almost any racing series, that mandatory compound switch is then nullified and drivers can remain on that wet compound of tires for the duration of said inclement weather. We have about 1 minute left until our qualifying session begins, given that we do not get delayed any further. You're expecting, I believe, 2 more cars, 2 more drivers to show up, but even if they don't, we will still get this party rolling for you guys. And there we go, our second 1 minute warning from our admin Dokuno. Qualifying will start in just under 40 seconds. Okay, qualifying is underway. Now we will join Dokuno, as he's almost always the first car out. As I think they release you in the order you joined the lobby. In terms of the qualifying session, 20 minutes, again, to set your fastest lap time, this time around the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit. Fast lap time will be on pole for our race in about 25-ish minutes. Now, as we get our qualifying session started, let me know, to our live viewers in the chat, who do you think is going to take the win today? Or who do you want to take the win today? So we see Dokuno begin his first flying lap of the day. It's going to try and set a nice banker as a benchmark. As we see Rasta right on his tail. See Dokuno come down towards turn 6 in the forest section. Going to come out of the final corner past the pit lane entrance. Going to cut the beam at the end of this straight. What's it going to be as a benchmark? Let's see, 125.212. Let's see what Rasta does behind. Rasta's just starting his qualifying lap. But we have Aladdin Pratama breaking into the 24s and almost the 23s. That's 124.114. This will be ahead of Faraz Wimser. excuse me, ahead of Andreo, who sets a time of a 1:24.2. See a little bit of a qualifying battle going on right here. Looks like after our first round of pit stops, excluding Rasta, we're going to have Aldon leading the way with a 1:24.1. We have Andreo at a 1:24.2 for ours Rumser. The first of the two LCSR cars at a 24.8. We have G at 24.9. Our Admin Dokuno, first of the 25s, and a 25.2. We have Andrew, another about 10th back, at a 25.3. And then Crashman at a 131.934. As we see, someone is around, and I believe that was Rasta, as he is reset to the pit lane. So not the kind of start you want to your qualifying session. But he will get back out there with about 10 minutes to go. Oh, no, we started it with about 15 minutes to go. Excuse me. Alden going to start his second flying lap. Goes a little bit wide, brushes into the gravel. Internet connection does not seem to be that great. It's going to run wide again, dip into the grass, this time out of Druids. I see a bunch of people setting their second lap times and improving by a handful of seconds. See, Andreo taking our provisional bull time, breaking into the 23s, so the 23.963. G breaking into a 124.006, restarting to the pit lane. Alden catching up to Pratama, or excuse me, to Rasta. On a hot lap, I think, for both of them, so not ideal situation, but it was so late in the lap, I don't think it's going to matter for either. Alden, however, is going to get a nice slipstream out of the final corner, but he is still going to be about 2/10 off of his best time. I'm going to take another run in. He has a huge run on Rasta. They're going to make contact, and Rasta's off. Both of their qualifying laps are ruined. Rasta into the wall. So Rasta's going to have to wait a whole another lap before he can set a full-on qualifying time. We join the driver currently second in the driver standings. Currently the only car to break into the 23s. And here, about halfway through the qualifying session, is when you'll start to see cars dive into the pit lane if they haven't already reset. Here we are with our current provisional pole sitter. I'm just gonna take fuel, I believe. Or they haven't decided yet. You know, wait some of the time out. Let's take a look at our Soul Ferrari running today. Yes, anyway, you'll see a driver side in the pit lane about 10 minutes in to take on fresh rubber and no fuel. So they have new tires, provide a lot of grip and less fuel for that better straight line speed. You see Crashman go wide off into the gravel. And it's going to be his lap basically nullified for the time being. Wide through the grass again. This track is pretty unforgiving. Not a whole lot of I don't think there's any runoff here. Your runoff is grass or gravel, as I have found out in ACC plenty of times. Pretty close qualifying across our top six. Fairly similar one-lap pace from all of our cars. Save for the final two. As we see Ferris Rumser go wide off into the gravel, he's going to reset to the pits. He's going to go again. As we see, the BWT cars have returned for this round. Only one, it seems. A big slide through Andrew through the first corner. So you see the bottom two cars separated by, what is that, 84 hundredths of a second? P5 and P6 only by, what is that, about 43 hundredths? Very close qualifying. This is one of the closest qualifyings we've had all season. In terms of, like, the cars next to each other, except for third and fourth, that's about 7/10. As we've seen Dokuno jump up a position with a 124.645. Still only one car to break into the 23s. As of yet. See what Andrew can do. Yeah, about 1.2 seconds off of his personal best. You saw him go wide a couple of times in that big slide through that corner right there. See Rasta trading places with Crashman, setting at 27-1. Currently 3 seconds off of our provisional pole time. Crashman trying to make a little bit of a comeback against Rasta, but not quite there. Let's hop on board with our admin as we go through the second half of this lap. There we are, one of the cars we were missing has arrived. It'll be a total of 9 it looks competing in today's race. You see Dokuno go wide out of turn 10. Gonna dive back into the pit lane. And we see that Crashman did indeed go faster than Rasta, breaking into the 26s. 2/10 ahead of Rasta's time. Just under 5 minutes left in this qualifying session. We have Andrea leading the way, who is now back on track with a 23.963, followed... Scratch that! We have Alan Pratama snatching provisional pole away at a 23.71. Then in third place, we have the first of the two LCSR cars, G, at a 124.066. Dokuno at a 124.575, Andrew, the BWT Racing cars, at a 24.815, the second of the two LCSR cars, Faraz Rumser, at a 24.8, Crashman about 2 seconds behind at a 26.895, and then Rasta at a 127.118. Only 8 out of our 9 cars participating today are taking part in qualifying. One person joined late due to some power issues in their home. So we're going to see a little bit of a position battle here in qualifying. Crashman isn't going any faster. Let's see if Farzrumser can respond. See if he can replace his fellow Porsche and P5 by only has to find about 3 thousandths. As he comes through turn, he's going to get a little bit distracted by the Ferrari in front of him. Exit of the final corner. I believe he's going to start a hot lap, actually. Yes. Tips a wheel into the dirt and goes super wide in the exit of turn 3. He has improved by about 2 tenths though. Improved his second sector yet again. See if his third sector is better still. It is. Staying around 2 tenths of improvement. 1 corner to go for Faraz Rumser. Across the beam. The big improvement. It's going to snatch sixth place away from Andrew. As we see, we have a spinner. The exit of the final corner is G in the gravel. Right before the line, that's going to be his qualifying over. It's going to ruin his run to the line. Unless he can make up some major time. Checker flag is about to fall on our qualifying session. Starting with our provisional pole sitter, he goes wide. Let's check in with Andrea coming out of turn 2. Drivers should be indicated that is their final lap soon. Andrea unfortunately not making any improvements. What about Dakuno? Here we are. The final lap message is on our driver's screens. Nakuno with a very smooth looking lap. Down through the final corner using all the track he can and then some. He's going to cut the beam. Is there going to be improvement? Not quite. 2/10 off as the checker flag waves on our qualifying session. See if Alden does anything. No, he's backed off his lap. Andrews just crossed the line as a Scratchman. That's going to be it for our qualifying session. Let's take a look to make sure that there is no weather coming in to the UK. Which surprisingly there is not. We'll give this minute a chance to run down, and I will give you our qualifying results. While we wait, if any of you are on the PlayStation and have Gran Turismo and have a setup or a controller, please do feel free to check out the International Sim Racing Series on the SimGrid. You can go to thesimgrid.com/international sim racing series. Sign up for any of our races there. You can join this championship. Runs every Wednesday. Or we have a endurance championship. Runs every couple of Saturdays. 2-hour races. Multi-class with the new hypercars and GT3s. Or if you just want to look at our calendar, excuse me. If you want to look at our calendar or the standings, everything can be found on the SimGrid. Qualifying is complete. Take a look at our grid for the International Sim Racing Series British 188 Brands Hatch. We have Alden Pratama going to lead the way in his BMW M6 at a 123.7. Andrea close behind it at a 123.9 alongside We're going to have G about 8 meters back, 24.066. Dokuno, our admin, in his Mercedes AMG, 24.5. We have Firestorm, sir, at a 24.5. Then we have Andrew at 24.8. Crashman at a 26.8, 2 seconds back. And then another about 3/10 is Rasta in our final BMW M6. And we're also going to have Intense Gamer, who's going to be at the back of the grid, as he wasn't able to join our qualifying session. Race will start in about 3.5 minutes. Go get yourself some food, get yourself a drink. The race will be here when you get back, I promise. We have received the 1-minute warning from our admin. The race will be underway. You run to 46 laps of the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit. A little bit of a delay today, hopefully nothing too crazy in terms of time. Drivers have had a couple extra minutes to practice, but now becomes the main event. Here we go, 9 cars lined up on the grid. Aladdin Breton is going to lead the way for Andrea, then it comes G back on the left-hand side. 9 cars roll away towards the start-finish line. We are running at Brands Hatch down towards turn 1. Aldon gonna lead the way of Andreo down through Paddock Hill Bend for the first time. Everyone as you were in single file, all cars going a little bit wide as we head down towards Druids. Already a little bit of a gap forming between the top 5 and the bottom 4, it looks like. As we have Rasta around. Rasta spins out of Druids. And that's going to be the start of his race completely ruined. He's going to have some work to do to try and get back any results. Everyone else pretty clean so far. We have Intensivo all over the back of his fellow Ferrari. Aldon a little wide, brushing some tires through the grass. We still have our 2 Ferraris duking it out as we come to finish the final lap. We're going to be side by side down towards the final corner. Tensifo's going to have an amazing run. He's going to get past down towards the last turn. All in all, a pretty clean lap, save for Ras to spin out of turn 2. Aldon already starting to break away a little bit of a gap. Absolutely unfortunate race start for Aldon. Or excuse me, for Rasta. But he's going to have to put it in the back of his mind now. He still has 44 laps to run. 44, 45 laps to run in today's Grand Prix. As we see G with the fastest sector 3 time. So we see Dokuno under attack from the Porsche of Faris Wurmser. Faris Wurmser. He's going to show his nose up the inside. Dokuno, they're going to make a little bit of contact, but Dokuno manages to stay ahead for the time being. Field already starting to spread out just a little bit. As we see, Andreo is starting to attack the BMW of Aldon. Then they get decently close out of Druids. Aldon's going to manage to break away just a tad bit again. They both dip a little bit of their outside wheels onto the grass on the entry. Dacuna's still trying to... Oh! You see, Alden is around and out of the lead. I wonder what happened now, but that's going to mean Alden goes from the lead to P7. See, Ras is already starting to catch up to the back of Crashman. That means our battle for the lead is going to shift to Andreo and G. G really squirmy out of the exit of turn 3. Is going to get close for the run down towards turn 5. G just trying to get as close as possible as we start lap 6 of 46 here for round 5 of the International Sim Racing Series summer season at Brands Hatch. About 0.3 is your gap for the lead right now. Top 4 all still really close. You see Faraz Winsmer flashing those lights, trying to get into Dacuna's head, trying to force that mistake. As far as Winsmer goes really wide and almost spins off into the wall. Manages to keep it pointing the right way. He's going to lose about 1.5 seconds right there. G's still just trying to get ever so closer to that lead position. Andrea with a huge twitch coming out of turn 3. Is that going to give G the opportunity down towards 4? Not quite. Andrea runs a little wide. And join the battle with Crashman and Rasta real quick. Ferrari versus BMW. Rasta having a look up the inside, nothing doing though as of yet. You have 4 two-car battles going on, and then Andrew's just chilling by himself, taking a nice little Wednesday drive. So we join Alden as he goes on the attack, trying to recover. He's going to be trying to get past Intensivo right here. Intensivo a veteran of the series. Alan's gonna have a look up the inside towards Druid. Shows knows nothing going though. He's gonna get past, but that was a little bit of a dirty bump, causing Intensiville to slide out of turn 2. As we see Firestorm all over the back of Dakuna. He's gonna look up the inside. Not the place to do it though. You can see the pace is pretty much the same across the board, split into sections as you go down the timing tower. See, is someone off? Andreo super wide out of 3. As we see G manage to get past for the lead. It's already starting to break away. That's 2.2-ish seconds. I wonder if Andreo just made a mistake. Because now he's going to have pressure from behind from Dokuno. As we see, Firestorm is off into the grass and into the wall. He's going to reverse back onto the circuit. Ooh. Not the safest of rejoins, I'd have to say. And he is twitching all over the place with those dirty tires. See Rasta and Crashman still going at it. He's starting to settle down now, except for this small little battle going on in the back of the field. See the battle for the second step on the podium starting to spark up just a little bit. Dokuno slowly catching Andreo. Dokuno with no longer any pressure behind him after we see Firestorm's spin. So half distance is about the start of lap 24. I say we can expect soft runners to stop probably around laps, anywhere between laps 17 to 21. And any of the medium runners stopping just after half distance. As you see, Alden with his trying to make his comeback through the field, he's going to start attacking Andrew now. Oof, super late on the brakes, almost goes into the back of the Porsche. Alden using all the track he possibly can to try and catch the Porsche. It's going to be about 2/10 as we cross the line. Is Alden going to be brave enough to try it into Paddock Hill? Not quite yet. It's going to be the closest Alden's ever been. He's going to get past with no contest. Nice and tidy. Tunzevo's going to start getting a little bit of pressure from the car trying to make its comeback from behind. As we see the average UK day of weather come through, getting decently gloomy. The track's going to be cooling down just a little bit. Grip is going to be really high. Ooh, Far's really wide off into the grass. Fires pushing his Porsche to the absolute limit, not doing him any good though. Oof, big slide for the two cars out of Druids. As we see, we have our first retirement. Crashman has left the room. Whether that was purposeful or accidental through internet, we will never know. But Crashman is going to be our first retirement, and actually a reserve driver, I believe. Took part in his first race of the season last time out at Monza. Let's hop on with Faris as he chases down Intensivo. Narrate the lap, we come down through Paddock Hill Bend for the decent run up towards Druids. Intensivo, Faris really late on the brakes, trying to get as close to that back of the Ferrari as he can. Probably gonna be flashing the lights, trying to get into the head. The closest, he goes super wide. You can see that correction on the steering wheel. As Intensivo goes a little bit deep into turn 4. Faris with another huge slide. Whoa! How did Faris keep that pointing in the right direction? As you saw, Intensivo basically cut the apex of that 2 corners ago. Let's check in with our leader. G currently sitting in a comfortable lead of about 3.3 seconds exactly. Yeah, about 3 seconds. As we see, Intensivo's around out of turn 2. That's going to allow Faris to get back up to P6, and he is absolutely gone. We see Rasta is off into the gravel as well, out of turn 1. A lot of huge mistakes from all of our drivers today. And that's going to settle down our race. No one is close to each other. Alright folks, unfortunately I have a real life responsibility to take care of, so I'm going to leave you guys with the leader, and I'll be back in hopefully a few minutes. Again, apologies, but I will be right back. Alright, my friends, apologies, I am back. As you see, some cars starting to take their pit stops. And Intensivo is taking fuel. Intensivo's going to be hit with that 3-second time penalty for cutting the white lines on pit entry. He's going to go wide off into the gravel in turn 1 as well. Now we see Rasta is also a car in the pit lane. He's going to release himself on soft about half fuel. He's looking to make a 2-stop. Intensivo's off into the wall. Trying to find reverse in that Ferrari. He's going to be lapped. They cut right in front of the lapped cars. They make contact! Oh my goodness. Intensivo trying to correct his, or trying to get out of the wall. Rejoins right in front of our race leader and they make contact. Good thing, no actual physical damage in this series. It's all cosmetic, but still. Not a great look on Intensivo's side. P2 and P3 are going to start coming around to lap Intensivo. He's being shown the blue flags. Intensivo is going to have to dive out of the way. He is going to get in the way. Preventing Alden. Nope, he's going to get out of Alden's way. He's going to serve that 3-second time penalty. It's 3-second slowdown, rather. Andrea back up into P4. Intensivo's going to dive back into the pit lane. So we see Dokuno and Alden as well. Going to take on new rubber and fuel. Everyone looks to be targeting that 2-stop. Going to take softs a little bit of fuel. And no doubt going to run that fuel down to empty and take on a final set of softs. Fortunately for G, after making that contact, he's still able to maintain a 13, almost 14-second gap to P2. You see our leader dive into the pit lane as we approach half distance in this 46 lap race. You see Andrew as well diving in the pit lane. I believe G is going to come out just in front or with Dokuno. You see Andrea coming around to lap Rasta. believe this is the first race all season where we've had cars actually being lapped. Or at least being shown blue flags. Andrea with setting the new fastest lap of the race, stealing it from himself. Rasta defending from the leader. Almost putting the leader in the wall. See a huge queue of cars forming, trying to all get on that middle step of the podium. G making a personal improvement, trying to run away from Dokuno. See Intensivo trying to get out of the way. In a good spot for both him and Alden. gonna just force Intensive out of the way. And force that Ferrari to obey blue flags. And to take matters into his own hands just a little bit. As we see Forrest diving into the pit lane. I believe that's going to conclude his soft stint. And take mediums, finish it out to the end. I'm surprised he didn't take any fuel. 60 might be enough. Andre a little bit wide out of turn one, dimming his left side in the gravel. Race once again settling back down after everyone cycles through the pit lane. We have just about 17 laps to go. Blue flags in the air for Rasta as Dakuna comes around to lap him. Rasta going wide through Druids, gonna allow Dakuna to get through. And then we know how Alden likes to deal with lap cars who don't want to get out of the way immediately. Oh, there it is. Rasta is off into the gravel after being pushed off. going to allow Intensivo to actually sneak by as well. Rest is off again. And again off into the gravel. It is absolutely not Resta's day. Rasta throwing throwing a word at our current car on screen. Not happy with how he's dealing with the lap traffic. I see another car dive into the pit lane. Our leader, Andreo, into the pit lane. As well as Alden. Once again, all the cars are spread out across the track. I see another car driving in the pit lane, however. It's going to be Dokuno, who is on 1% fuel. Gonna no doubt they're gonna take another set of softs and top out as much fuel as he needs. As we cycle through our final wave of pit stops here. I wonder if that means G will have to take another pit stop. See if he dives in here. Not quite. Come down with 11 laps to go here. He is using slightly worn softs. Well, decently worn softs. I wonder if he's going to try and ride these out to the end. Andrea, I see with a big slide behind. And G dives into the pit lane. Andrea's going to re-inherit the race lead. I believe this is going to be our final pit stop of the day. Just tires, no fuel for the Porsche. He's going to come out in very clean air. We have 10 laps to go here, folks. It's been a pretty uneventful race so far. Just a couple of spins, a little bit of contacts. Nothing in terms of really elongated battles. Not big turnout today in terms of drivers, unfortunately. So I'm going to ask a favor of anyone who sees this, please share this stream. We're trying to grow this series. I'd say it's an incredible group of friends. We're all on Discord. I talked to a couple of them, raced with a couple of them. I used to race in this series, of course. I raced in the last season, even up until about halfway. I raced with likes of Fabio, who is our champion, raced last time out at Monza for a one-off. He is rapid. And I think it's a great community, this International Sim Racing Series. So if you'd like to join it, again, go to the simgrid.com/International Sim Racing Series. Join either this or our endurance calendar, our endurance championship. Or if you know someone who's trying to get into sim racing, or just has a tough way finding it into a community or a league, because I feel like the best from sim racing comes from leagues. Everyone gets really close, so everyone becomes friends. So there's really a whole lot of heatedness. Is that the correct word? I don't know. Anyway, Yeah, send them on over here. Share out this stream with your friends. Get people watching. Maybe try and get other people into sim racing. It's a wonderful hobby. It's an expensive hobby. Do not get me wrong. But it's a wonderful hobby. We would always love to welcome new people. Here we have Andrea about to start lap 40 of 46 with a 10-second gap to G in second place. And we have Alden currently riding out the bottom step of the podium. Let's take a look with our last place car, unfortunately getting lapped by 2 places in front of him. Not Rasta's day, unfortunately. Had a spin early on, then spun a couple more times, been punted off by a lead car. Definitely a race he'll want to forget. Next time out, the International Sim Racing Series will go to round 6 of the 2026 summer season. We travel to Styria in Austria at the Red Bull Ring. That is next Wednesday, July 8th. Following week, we'll go to Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium, one of probably my favorite track in the world. After that, in Spa starts our 3-race leg where we go to the longest tracks on the calendar. We go to Spa, followed by Le Mans in the Circuit de la Sarthe on the 22nd. Then rounding out July on the 29th, we go to the Nürburgring for, I believe, about 5 to 8 laps of the Nordschleife. Rasta is off. It's going to allow Angie to get by with no issue to put a lap on Rasta. In terms of the rest of the calendar, in August, to round out the season, we go to a 3-leg American stint. First we go to New York in Watkins Glen. We go down to Georgia for Road Atlanta. Then we move to the West Coast in California for my home track, WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. After that, on August 26th, we'll round out our championship at the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache in Interlagos in Sao Paulo, Brazil. You're coming down to the final couple of laps here at Brands Hatch, and Andreo, ever since the pit stop phase, the first pit stop phase, has been in command of this race. Andreo slowly catching up to Rast once again, put another lap on the Ukrainian-driven BMW. Everyone just going for nice Wednesday cruises by their lonesomes. Blue flags once again for Rasta. This time again by the overall leader. And Rasta is off into the gravel once again in Badakill Bend. And he's facing the wrong way on the apex. He's trying to get his car facing the right way on the black stuff again. Andreo Moldbach's on the penultimate lap. Andreo rounds the corner, cuts the beam, begin the final lap of the British 180 here at Brands Hatch. Well, Max, I'll say it now, on course for his first win of the season. He has led and dominated every race. However, he's always had something happen to him that caused him. He has only finished second in the 3 races out of 4 he's participated in. He finished second in Bathurst, second in Suzuka, didn't participate in Abu Dhabi, got second once again in Monza after Fabio defended like an absolute tiger, lion. But Andrea gonna change the script today. He's gonna cut the beam, take first place and his first win here at Brands Hatch. G cuts the line across, cuts the checkered line in second place. Another 12-ish, 13 seconds back. It's going to be the BMW of Alden. Going to finish out the podium. Then we have our admin, Dokuno. Rounding the final corner, going to come home in 4th. We have Faris coming around to lap both Intensivo and Rasta. Intensivo lapping Rasta as well. Intensivo and Rasta are off the final corner. Faris going to cut the beam to finish in P5. Intensivo manages to break away from it. Rasta going to cut the beam, a lap down in 7th. And Andrew's going to come around to lap his fellow countryman once again. Come home in 6th. And then Rasta finishes out the grid in P8. Great victory for Andrea. Started P2, getting up to finally get his first win. Let's take a look at your final classification for the British 180 at Brands Hatch for the International Sim Racing Series. We have Andrea taking his first win of the season and of his time in this championship in his Lexus RCF. Followed 4 seconds back by G, the first of our Porsches. Then the first of our BMWs, Alden, finishing out the podium, 18 seconds behind our leader. We have our admin Dokuno, a further, what is that, about 16 seconds behind, if I'm not, no, 14 seconds behind, excuse me. Then we have Faris, the second of the LCSR cars, finishing in his Porsche. Then about 20 seconds back, we have Andrew, first of the Ukrainians, and then a lap off of basically everyone. It was Intensivo, the first of our Ferraris, the only finishing one. Then we have Rasta, 2 laps down on everyone in his BMW M6. Again, not his day, unfortunately. Second page, we have P9 Crashman, our only DNF. We are asking him to explain that right now, but we will get to that news to you when we can in the second of the 2 Ferraris. Well, my thanks to all of you for joining us today, whether that's live or after the fact. My thanks to all the admin team for making this possible, whether that be Dokuno, Fabio, Amber, all of them. They do so much to try and get all this scheduled and working out in both this championship and the Endurance Championship. And of course, my thanks to all the drivers taking time out of their Wednesday night, morning, whatever it is. It may be Thank you to them for joining this. They wouldn't be possible without the drivers. And once again, thank you to you all for joining us. We'll see you next time out at... I already forgot what it was. We'll see you next time out at the Red Bull Ring in Austria for round 6 of the International Sim Racing Series 2026 summer season. My name is Jack Plays. Until then, I will see you all later.